Have you ever had just one of those days where you went to bed with the best intentions and you're like, the next day is going to be perfect. Everything's going to go in order. And then something happens when you wake up, you spiral out of control, and the whole day seems like it was just a waste. And you just have one of those days. First off, I want to say this. It's not a waste. If you feel that way, there's a lesson in it that you can have. And if you're intentional about recognizing it, if you just take 5 to 10 minutes to pause, stop doing what you're doing and actually look at, okay, what can I learn from today? How did I get here? How did I go from last night being prepared to take today and, take control of my day, and now I feel like I've been controlled by my day? I had one of those days today. It was one of those days where, if you watch any of my videos, I'm super positive, super uplifting. But at the same time, you guys, I want to be real with you. A lot of what I share with you comes out of what I've either experienced yesterday, the day before, you name it, letting things spiral out of control. And so what I realized is after about 10 hours of this, I just had to stop doing all the stuff I was doing. It wasn't working. It just was not adding up to the goals that I have for myself. And I'm like, I got about halfway through the day and I'm like, this is not working out. This is not what I signed up for today. And yet a lot of times people allow those circumstances, that feeling of that, to compound the next day and the next day. And that's how you get a lifestyle of frustration. Here's the goal and the deal, you guys. We're not going to be perfect every single day. Life happens. Things that we can't control happen, and we can't control other people. But what we can do is we can control our emotions and how we look at the day, and then pause for a minute. Just pause. Even in the midst of chaos, even in the midst of one of those days, stop everything. And even if you feel like I can't stop everything, I just can't do it. I can't do it. That's how I felt all day today. I felt like no matter what I did, I couldn't get caught up. And then I stopped. And I just took 30 minutes to play with my dog. Took 30 minutes, listen to some music. Took 30 minutes to spend some time in meditation with God. Took 30 minutes to stop trying to do everything on my own of what I wanted and spiraling out of control, and instead getting aligned with what I was made for, my destiny, my calling, my purpose. And yeah, made some mistakes today, kind of messed up, kind of did some things that, I'm not proud of, but I can't beat myself up over that. And so when you have one of those days, don't beat yourself up over the fact that it didn't go perfect. Don't beat yourself up over the fact that things just didn't work out, but realize that you can't change the past. I can't change the last 12 hours of the day. But what I can do is I can decide to take 30 minutes to shift my emotions and focus on, how do I want to feel in this moment? What am I choosing to feel, and choosing the rest of my day moving forward? Choosing that. Guys, I didn't even do a Facebook Live today because of it. I was like, I can't do that to people. And I almost gave up on it. I'm thankful for my wife, for her encouragement. She's such an powerful encourager. She helps push me forward, and not in a way like it's loving. It's a loving like nudge to. She tells me, you're better than this. And so if you don't have somebody in your life that says that, I want you to remind yourself of that. You're better than this. Don't let outside circumstances allow you to take control and to give up the authority of your emotions, your choices, your decisions, and your actions, and act like a victim to the circumstances that have happened in your day. Take ownership over the choices that you did. Realize, okay, I can't change that. That happened. I did some things. Own up to the fact that maybe you made some bad choices, and then shift it, and shift what you're doing in that moment from that moment on. That's what I was doing up until now. And move forward towards where you're going, towards your goals, towards your calling and destiny. If you have one of those days, listen, you're on planet Earth. If you live on this planet right now, You know, I mean, maybe somebody will be watching this video from Mars or something in 200 years. But even if you live on that planet, no, I'm joking. But if you live on this planet right now, you're going to have one of those days. You're going to have days. Give yourself grace to not beat yourself up. And then choose to not look at the past, to not even look at the last 12 hours, not look at the last even 48 hours sometimes, 72 hours. It could be the last 30 days. It could be the last 12 months. The scale doesn't matter, by the way. That scale of how long we look into doesn't matter. What happens is if we look even 1 hour into the past and use it to complain instead of be grateful and say, I'm thankful that I'm here right now, and get your mind right, and then choose the emotion that you want, and then move forward, it'll spiral out of control, and it'll keep spiraling. And that's what my day did. Every hour I was complaining, I was worrying, I was talking about how nothing was going right. I was not grateful about anything all day. And then I took 30 minutes, and I just realized if I want to get a different result, I have to do something differently than what I've been doing up to this point. If I expect to get a different result by doing the same thing, that's actually insanity. And so realize this. You can choose, instead of staying stuck in the hamster wheel, spinning around, hoping that the same wheel spinning around is going to get you to a different place, and just get off the hamster wheel for a second. Take 10 minutes, take 30 minutes, take an hour, take as long as it takes to get into alignment. Because you've had those days and those moments, you guys. And I want you to pull from that here real quick, okay? Let me give you a tangible way to do this. You probably have had days where everything is going how you want it to. Everything's clicking, everything's in alignment. And you know how that feels, okay? And so as humans, we're like, okay, I just have to do what I did to get there. No, you don't even have to do what you did. In fact, all you have to do when you're having one of those days is just shift your emotion, pull from that day where everything was in alignment and say, okay, I remember how I felt. I'm going to choose to feel that way right now, even in the midst of all this chaos, even in the midst of everything going on around me. And choose the emotion I'm going to have, and then walk out from that moment on instead of looking back into the past, and move forward into where you're going. And that's how you can shift if you're having one of those days. Like I told you, I was having today. Just take 5-10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. Get recentered, get into alignment of what you were created for, what you were made for, what your calling and your destiny is. And what that does is it actually gets you off the hamster wheel and gets you back on track. You can pull from that emotion that you felt before, those emotions that you feel, those feelings that you feel when everything was going right, even in the moment that it's not. And it's not lying to yourself. It's actually choosing, I'm not going to allow everything that's going on around me to dictate how I'm feeling right now. I will be dictating how I feel in my emotions in this moment. And then for me, when I spend time in prayer, in worship with God, it gets me into alignment with that and gets me into alignment in the presence. And then from there, I go forward into where I'm headed and leave behind me anything that is not serving me on my path to my calling and destiny. So grow your life, everybody. If you ever have one of those days, maybe come even back to watch this video. We'll talk soon.